Hey guys, despite only having been out for less than a week, Tribbie has already earned an honorary role in the community as a mislabeled erudition unit, alongside Lingsha. And yeah, much like how Lingsha damage was a noticeable AoE improvement over Aventurines, Tribbie's sub DPS is also a noticeable AoE improvement over Robin's. But I'm not here just to discuss their damage, no. What I want to look at is why these two are seen as so meta-defining right now, and how their frequent AoE follow-ups, even when they don't deal that much damage, play a huge contributing factor. Let's start with how AoE follow-ups match versus the current memory of Chaos enemies. From MOC 10 to MOC 12, how many total lineups do you think benefit from AoE follow-ups? That's right, all of them. Starting with the obvious, both Tribbie and Lingsha can chip away quite handily at Nikador's and the FuAs squad's war armor, reducing their damage reduction for each stack lost and dealing extra damage per attack after breaking war armor. As for MOC 12's True Sting, Lingsha's AoE fire follow-ups can help break the senior staff team leader, his IPC goons, and the lesser stings, while Tribbie's AoE quantum toughness can help break stings and True Sting itself. AoE ults and follow-ups also neutralize MOC 11's banana academics, keeping them permanently happy as long as they aren't tutored, while letting both characters also snag a free win versus Aventurine's gamble, a significant improvement over their single-target counterparts who just prefer to tank the loss. As for MOC 10 Hoolay, the frequent follow-ups help neutralize his Moonrage quite effectively. In fact, the instant Hoolay starts Moonrage, he only requires 3 attacks to dispel it, something that both Lingsha and Tribbie can achieve with their ultimate, plus any other ally's attacking ultimate. If saving ults seems like too much trouble, they can still slow down Hoolay's stack generation enough to stop him from wombo comboing your whole team. Oh, and the frequent AoE also means that Lingsha and Tribbie don't care about the attacks from Moonrage, both for Hoolay as well as for the Howling Caskets. In pure fiction, AoE follow-ups are still very nice. So far, we have always had a PF buff that rewards 2 extra grit for enemy hit, which translates to 10 grit for our fake erudition units. That's 2 kills worth of grit for each follow-up attack, and if you play with each character, you know they do a lot more than just one follow-up. Additionally, the toughness reduction for the Wave 1 trash cans, as well as the Fury enemies on Kokoli's Wave 2, is much appreciated. Expect both Nikador and the Fury enemies to return next rotation to pure fiction as well, since we've already seen creator experience showcases for them. Keep in mind, if your follow-ups do 0 damage, these benefits still apply to the base character, and that's without considering the rest of their rounded out kits. And for the current Apocalyptic Shadow, Tribbie makes spawning, breaking, and killing Scarabaz's stings much easier, while Lingsha's does the same versus Fantilia and her Lotuses. In the future, Tribbie's chip should also help versus Kokoli and Sunday, given how well Lingsha did versus them and the fact that they're also quantum weak, and I think that it goes without saying that both of them shut down Apocalyptic Shadow's banana academics hard. It's important to note that all of these observations are disclaimers for these characters' performance just as much as they are strengths. Sure, with these advantages, they will feel much stronger versus the current content than numbers alone would suggest, but the opposite is also true. Without these mechanic-related advantages to further boost their performance, you might feel their utility drop to being more in line with their rival supports. Of course, they will still feel stronger in their ideal teams, like Lingsha does on Super Break and Tribbie with the Herta and AoE spam, and I don't think that they are completely doomed without these advantages either. I just wanted to shed some light on how these two characters have been going above and beyond people's expectations. It's not just because of their damage, but also because mechanically, they tick a lot of checkboxes that current endgame asks of the player. AoE follow-ups are just a great catch-all for these mechanic checks. So much so that, not gonna lie, I wonder if Hoyo will ever make a mechanic to punish them. Hopefully they don't go too overboard with that though. We're finally seeing Hoyo, for instance, punish shielders with next MOC's buff being tied to HP loss, so perhaps a boss that gets angrier the more enemies you hit in 4.0 would be due eventually. But that's speculation for another day. Anyways, those are my thoughts on Tribbie, and how her and Lingsha have similar hidden values as AoE attacking supports. In case it wasn't clear, the reason I didn't mention top performing follow-up eruditions like Himeko, Herta, and Jade is because they, unlike Lingsha or Tribbie, take up a DPS slot on the team. Tribbie's and Lingsha's advantages come from the fact that they stack with these eruditions while still offering harmony levels of support and abundance levels of sustain respectively. As endgame continues to get harder and characters can continue to get stronger, there's more and more pressure for role compression, and unlike the Welts and FuAs back in version 1, these new characters Hoyo are releasing don't have their primary functions nerfed in exchange for their secondary utilities. I won't lie though, this rush for roll compression is definitely becoming a little concerning, and with Remembrance letting players exceed the conventional 4 HP bars on the field, I wouldn't be surprised if we eventually got true 5+ member teams given the game's current direction. Hopefully the power creep train slows down, because at this rate, paths might not mean anything anymore besides whatever emanators dictate them to be. A few rule breakers are okay, but I'm personally hoping the Tribbies and Lingshas don't become the established norm. Hope this video provided some insight on why pure damage isn't always everything, and how a character fulfilling multiple mechanics can go as far as to flip certain matchups on their head. Just remember, Tribbie might be strong, but don't let FOMO get the best of you. Make sure you know what you're getting into when you pull. With all that said, have a great day!